Every year of football is special in its own right, but 2012 might just be the most iconic all time, because in 2012, we witnessed the greatest goal-scoring run ever.
Retrasando pelota Messi!
The most iconic end to a Premier League season.
Aguero!
And even the Champions League trophy won from a legend's final touch.
The greatest night in the history of Chelsea Football Club!
We saw the best team ever assembled overthrown. We saw records that'll likely never be beaten, as well as new rules, transfer betrayals, and unbeaten title runs. Not to mention the peak of the greatest national team of all time, coupled with unlikely trophy wins across Europe and South America. There were internet-breaking celebrations, unforgettable fallouts, and contenders for the greatest goal of all time. And this all makes up just some of the things. So this is a full recap of 2012, the most iconic year in the history of football. Before we get to 2012, it's important to give some context into the football landscape at the time, because football was a totally different game heading into 2012. Starting in Spain, Pep Guardiola's Barcelona side featuring legends Messi, Iniesta, and Xavi had won 2 of the last 3 Champions Leagues in spectacular fashion, as their revolutionary tiki-taka style had embarrassed Man United in the 09 and 11 finals. Having already swept the previous 3 Ballon d'Or and La Liga titles, Messi, who was deployed in the false 9 role, orchestrated Barcelona's dominance as the Catalan club danced past nearly every opponent, with whispers of greatest team of all time growing louder. Moving to their El Clasico rivals, Real Madrid had spent heavily on Cristiano Ronaldo, Kaká, and Karim Benzema in recent years to build a new Galactico super team, but were unable to secure major silverware, as Barcelona's golden era showed no signs of slowing. So, the Madridistas did the unthinkable as they appointed Jose Mourinho in an attempt to restore La Liga's natural order during the 11-12 season. And Real weren't the only traditional giants struggling to negotiate evolving dynamics, because looking over at England, Man United had won 4 of the previous 5 titles under Sir Alex Ferguson, but a new mega-rich force had landed in town. And by town, we literally mean town, because 7 kilometers south of Old Trafford, United's noisy neighbors Man City had been bought by billionaire Emirati owners with ambitions of taking over the Premier League. The citizens were once the joke of English football, but with newfound financial power allured Carlos Tevez, Emmanuel Adebayor, Yaya Touré, and Robinho away from United, Arsenal, Barcelona, and Real Madrid, Sergio Aguero, Vincent Kompany, and David Silva to build a team that could end United's 20-year-long dominance. And as 2012 drew closer, a changing of the guard movement unfolded under Sir Alex's eyes, as City thrashed United 6-1 at Old Trafford and finally looked capable of snatching the Premier League title away from their arch-enemies. But could they pull off the unthinkable? In Germany, Borussia Dortmund were enjoying their moment in the sun after Jurgen Klopp's revolutionary tactics dethroned Bayern Munich, as they went into 2012 as favorites to retain their crown. Meanwhile, in France, PSG had recently been purchased by the Qatar Sports Investment Group, as they intended to make the Parisian club the wealthiest and most powerful in Europe. They were sure to finally get their hands on that league title, unless an underdog really came out of nowhere to stop them. And lastly, looking over to Italy, Juventus appeared to have finally recovered from their years of financial mismanagement, demotions, and inferiority to Inter and AC Milan, because as the 2011-12 season hit December, the Old Lady were second in the league and unbeaten at the turn of the year. But could they really overthrow the imposing AC Milan? And funnily enough, each and every league, team, or dynasty I just mentioned was about to change as the year turned, because 2012 was not just the greatest year in history, but the year that changed football forever, as it literally shaped the next era of football, with dynasties failing and rising in every single competition. May I tell you, this is about to get very exciting.